Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Westside Gaming, and today is a little bit more different of a vibe, I should say, because today is January 7th, 2020, and as we all know, people stormed the White House yesterday, so instead of, commentating or whatever, I figured that it would be a nice thing to talk about that today and give my thoughts on that, because usually I don't really have anything to talk about on the channel, so I just thought, hey, let's switch it up for a change. Just so you know, some of this stuff is my personal opinion before I say it. It is okay to have your own opinions, and I totally respect that. I respect what you guys think. And yeah, so what people did yesterday, well, yesterday from the day I'm voice recording and uploading this video, not from the day I skated this. Yesterday from the day I did my voice recording, people did some very bad things. I mean, a whole ton of federal crimes were committed at the Capitol building from people storming it. I mean, one guy stole the podium that I think the people talk on. I'm not sure if they have multiple of those, but I would assume that there's only one of those, because I would assume there's one conference room, but I don't know. Maybe there's multiple for like multiple things to speak on. So, I mean, one dude stole the podium. We all know. I mean, we probably all saw that on social media, that one picture of that white dude stealing the podium, which, I mean, yeah, that and other things, breaking into the White House was messed up. I mean, they all had a long day yesterday. Well, I mean, even I did, just hearing about it and watching it. But that's not the point for today, guys. The point for today is what people did yesterday was wrong and messed up. Yes, you can call it a protest, but what Draymond Green said there, I'm gonna take out the parts where he cussed out, because the skater game videos are supposed to be made for kids to be able to watch. The Call of Duty is a little bit grown up, so I'm gonna take the parts where he cussed out. He said, they're not protesters, they're terrorists. And I totally agree with that. I mean, if you're storming the White House doing stuff like that, that is, in my opinion, essentially what a terrorism act would be. Now, it's not the worst terrorism you've seen. I mean, we all saw, well, we have all heard of 9/11. That was a terrorist attack, and God, was it bad, but excuse me for the language there, but just like, bruh, people do things that aren't smart in life, and honestly, it is just, I don't know what goes through their mind. It is hilarious seeing what like not smart ideas people come up with. I mean, back, I think 1 or 2 years ago, people came up with the idea of, hey, let's go to Area 51 all together at once and quote unquote storm it, which was honestly a really bad idea. And the same thing to what I would have assumed would have happened in Area 51 would have happened at the White House, but didn't, is if you stepped foot past the border line when you're doing this stuff and you start to act up, you would probably be shot in defense. I mean, let's be real. If a country is going to protect their capital, I mean, if they didn't try to protect their capital at all by shooting that one lady and injuring a couple others, that would essentially be saying to, not necessarily to ourselves, but to other countries, hey, come and attack our White House, because it is easy to get in, and people will tear our country not only from the inside out, but eventually through war too. So it's just Like, why? Why do you do this? Why do you think of these ideas? Why do you actually do them? Yeah, some people think of them jokingly, but do those people actually do it? No, they do not actually do it. But of course, there's people always taking it seriously, and it's just so wrong to take something like that seriously. You you really think attacking your own White House and stealing things is going to get them to hear your voice? No, it's not going to get them to hear your voice. If anything, it's going to be like, well, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about, so why should I listen to them? Not, oh, hey, they just rated us. Let's listen to them so that they don't do it again. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to say, they're going to use the logical response and say, hey, how about we don't listen to them because they don't know what they're doing. They are clearly not smart people. So why should we listen to them? And it's a good reason not to listen to them. And it defeats the whole point of a quote-unquote, I'm holding up air quotes right now, but obviously you guys can't see it because I don't have a face cam. So we're just going to say, air quote, protest. It is not a protest. People are so blind when they see the difference between a protest, a riot, and an act of, maybe barely just an act of terrorism. Because, I mean, if some of those people, the people who work in the White House, got killed that day, I would definitely say, yeah, that's probably an act of terrorism, other than just a riot. But here, it's kind of in between the lines, because none of the White House workers got killed or anything, at least to my knowledge. So I don't really even know to call it a riot or an act of terrorism, but it's just wrong, and it's not smart. Please, for kids that are watching this, if you are going to protest and want your ideas heard in the world, do not, at all costs, do it like this, because this is going to make them not want to listen to you. It's going to make them think, why should we listen to them? I mean, if they're going to do this to us, that's going to, do bad things for our country, instead of just waiting and waiting and waiting and doing it peacefully and being able to come to a resolution. If you do it the violent way, they're more likely not to listen to you. And that's the thing with not only me, a lot of countries, and a lot of people. It's, if I respect you, I feel like I will be more open to your ideas, your thoughts, what you have to say in general, than if you just treat me like I'm, a really bad person. It doesn't. My point is, I know I'm stuttering a lot, and that's because this is hard. It's gonna be hard to say, and not only Christian words. Well, kid-friendly, not necessarily Christian, but what I'm trying to say in kid-friendly words is hard to say in kid-friendly words. So that's why I'm kind of struggling with what I'm saying, and you guys hear me stutter. It's just so wrong on so many levels. The fact that people from our country are pretty much going to rip it, and eventually I know the USA won't be a country anymore because the people will have ripped it from the inside out, pretty much destroying the country. I mean, everyone has their own opinions, but the way people, especially right now, are trying to get their opinions across are going to tear our country apart from the inside out. Because the people just get offended, and they get and they feel disrespected and all of that stuff. They feel like they're not being listened to. But the problem with it is that just don't know what they're doing, and it's very hard to say what people should and shouldn't do in a boundary like this, because there are going to be so many things that people do and do not do when talking about this. So I can't really say the do's and do nots for those kids that might be watching this somewhere, maybe in the future, maybe right now. I mean, the part of the our history for the USA is literally in my hands. That's the point of a democracy, getting people to be able to have their opinions and everyone be able to vote. It puts our own future into our own hands in a way. Not necessarily fully. I mean, we don't have any control over things like if we go to war with a specific country, for example, France, which I honestly don't think will happen in a long time unless something like a world war happens. But even then, the last world war, they were our allies. But I'm just using them as an example. We have no control over things like that. What we do have control over as human beings in general is what our actions are, what we do as people. And those people are the people in this world they don't think about that. They just think of, oh, what their opinion is, what they want. They don't put themselves in other people's shoes. They don't see the other side and why they think this way. No, they just see that something bad is happening in their opinion with this, and they decide to make it worse by doing things like this. And it is very sad to see a country can literally get ripped apart from things like this. The people don't even realize it. The time's gonna come, and we as a country will be all pretty much on our own. I mean, people are going to go rip things up, and it's going to put our country more into debt. I don't know how to speak right now. Debt, like money debt, then more money debt than we already are. And because we're going to need to pay to clean these things up, pay all these workers, blah, blah, blah. And one day, it's going to come to a point where we can't afford it anymore. So our country will go poof, gone, and our land will be, how would I say this? Probably, if I were to make a guess, it would be very, not very, but easily be able to be colonized, because no one will rule the land after the country being torn apart. So you'll have other countries going on conquests to take over our land into their country, use more taxes to get their country richer, and then people will be torn apart. And yeah, it's what humanity does to this world is really a bad thing to see. With that being said, there is about 45 seconds left in the video, so I will do the outro right now. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed my rant on what's happening in the world right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Westside Gaming. Bye.